other than a place to find a way to express myself and sort things out. And it's the craziest time in the entire history of the United States, I feel like, at least in the last 100 years, to do that. I'm living alone during a pandemic, and not only George Floyd, but many people are being murdered in our country, and we have to do something about that. And those two things, like, really coinciding, and having to work from home and be completely isolated, are pretty magnificent life changes that I've certainly never experienced in my lifetime. Even my grandparents have said that this is something that they've never experienced. So I don't mean to offend anybody. I don't mean to share people's stories that don't want to be shared, and I'm very careful about that, and I really try to tell people when I'm including them in these stories. But just totally lost my train of thought. I'm just so wiped out.
You want to talk about racism? Come on in.
It's Blackout Tuesday. I actually didn't even know it was Blackout Tuesday until 20 minutes ago. And ironically, today in my Zoom class, I decided to have a conversation about George Floyd with my kids. I'm gonna try to put that footage in here because I think, as most of the students I've had know, this is a topic that really this racism has to stop. I did a documentary a few years ago with some kids in an after-school program, and I just called it the racism documentary, and I've never put it out there. What did I learn? What do I think? I think that I don't have the answer, and I think that part of the answer is something that I was able to discover through that documentary and then through this conversation today with my kids. And it's just that it's a conversation we have to be having. We have to talk about it. This has to stop. It has to stop. You know what my classroom looked like today? Brown and black. I'm white. One of my other kiddos is white. The majority, brown and black. Their lives matter. It's extraordinarily disturbing to look at your kids and say, not only do I want you to understand this issue because you need to take charge in helping with systemic changes, but what disturbs me even more is that I just want them to know that this is happening, that it's dangerous, and if they ever find themselves in a situation, anything like this, that the best thing they can do is just follow, is just try to cooperate, you know, that's what logic says. And yet George Floyd was cooperating. I couldn't even bring myself to watch the videos of this before I taught this class today. I'd read about it and I'd seen all the protests happening, and I think everything is so intense right now. But during class, when we were getting into the discussion, the kids wanted to see a video, and I I did a vote, because it's a topic that needs sensitivity, and so I took a vote, and we went one by one, and they said if they were willing to, if they wanted to see the video, because I had one kid who was trying to show us the video, and I had one kid who wanted to opt out, but he was supportive. He said, you guys watch it, and I will just turn away. And so I found the shortest clip I could that, and right now I'm kind of glad that that's the one I found, because I just watched the full video of his death, and it just brings me to tears. But the conversation I had with my kids today is a highlight. They're wise. They have strong feelings and opinions about this topic, which I have to say, with high schoolers, is not always easy to get. So, teachers, talk to your kids. I teach computer information systems, It's not in my content and it's not in my jurisdiction, but it is. Because these things are happening to my kids and their families and their parents and their loved ones. And I am so in support of safe protests, but they do make me nervous with the pandemic going on. I did find it disturbing in the footage I saw to see like half the police wearing masks and half of them not. And then, when you see all this footage and the riots and all of the stuff that's happening, it's just dangerous. It's dangerous on a level that I've not witnessed in my lifetime, at least at a point when it resonated with me. But I was just thinking earlier too about these kids and how they have such major issues mounted on their shoulders right now. And most people don't experience those kinds of things until you're old enough to decide to pay attention to the news. It took me a lot of years to do that, but I'm proud of them because they do catch what's going on. They might not understand the full thing, but if we adults facilitate that conversation, it can lead to changes. It has to. We have to change the system. So, here's a little bit of our conversation today. I don't exactly know how I'm going to insert it because I'm just max capacity right now, and when I was recording the Zoom, I accidentally recorded their faces, which is a challenge because I can't put them out there on the internet. That is against the policies, so there might be some weird cropping, or I'll overlay it over something, but the important thing is to just hear their conversation, their wisdom, their words. Because Black lives matter. Brown lives matter. All lives matter. And this country isn't going to tolerate this anymore. We can see that. But I'd like to see it happen in a non-violent way. So, please vote in November. I think that's going to be a pretty important part of this process. Have you guys seen these protests that are happening?
I've heard of them.
Yeah.
What do we think?
I personally can't speak too much on the issue. I don't know enough about it to really have a strong opinion, but the issue of police brutality has been going on in the United States for decades. It's been a major issue and nothing has been done to resolve it. and in any systemic way. There have been no real systemic changes to address it, and if anything, actually, systemic changes have been done to really protect officers who participate in it, like officers who tape their body cams or who even have direct body cam footage of police brutality don't get punished because they're tied to the courts, they're tied to the lawyers. They have these terrifyingly strong police unions. You just can't really do anything about it without riots, without protests, and even then, it often doesn't get the right things done. The cop who killed Floyd got third-degree murder as a charge, not first degree, not second degree.
I bring it up because I don't, my conclusion about racism is this, because this is something that I've been really interested in for many years now. And at my old school, I was doing a little documentary with my kids because I was just so curious, like, where does it come from and how do we change it and what do we do? And I think the conclusion that I came to, at least in part, is that the best thing I can do is to facilitate conversations and to give like space to talk about it, because I think a lack of talking about it is part of the problem. I don't know if you guys agree.
I feel like this country, like as a whole, policing black bodies is like the major issue. Like we should just like leave everything aside and just like fix what's happening within the country first. Because like this is like not only racism, but it's like discrimination, and it's against the same people that has been like affected by it since the beginning of time. It's like the minorities, like the African Americans, and like even those in power aren't doing anything about it, which is sad to think about it.
Yeah, it's extremely disturbing. I agree with you completely. I agree with you completely.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. Mm-mm. No, it is what you do about it.
Yeah.
It is what you do about it, and that
So
is
we
the question. So this is what I do about it. I bring it to you. You know, because you guys have to change the world. My generation apparently didn't do it, so it's up to you.
I've changed the videos.
Well, that's good. Now, what are you going to do about all the racism?
What?
make a video and post it on Netflix.
We're going to keep going. Unless anybody else has anything you want to share.
What is the full story about that racism? I don't know the story, so I'm watching the video right now.
I don't know the exact full story. I got to be honest with you because it's so hard for me to watch. He was killed by a police officer that knelt on his throat.
For nothing. All he did was like, so basically he went into the store, got a cigarette only like for $20. But then two employees came out saying that he didn't pay for it. And so like they went to his car and they like wanted like the cigarette back. But he was apparently drunk, and so he was just like saying no, that he wouldn't pay the bill. And so when they called the police arrived and found out that he was drunk, and so they just nailed him down. 8 minutes, for 8 minutes.
There is nothing really happening. The police come and they pull the man over.
No, there's a lot happening. They kneel on his.
Is this one?
He died because they knelt on his throat.
But what I don't understand was like the police officer was like telling him to like get up, and he's like, I can't breathe. That's messed up.
Yeah,
You know,
that's
you
his
should
final.
do. Police told you to get down. Why you argue with them? Just get down. We're done.
But he wasn't doing anything.
He wasn't doing anything.
Like,
Yeah, that's.
Like they were questioning him, and he was like cooperating. But then as soon as like they put him inside the vehicle, I don't know what happened, but the police pulled him back out of the vehicle.
This.
Like he was drunk, but like you don't get to treat him like that.
You shouldn't be able to treat any human like that. It's crazy. And the degree of murder is also crazy, which Freya, I think that was a good point too.
Did that he already had 17 complaints against him and was already charged with murder 1. they being fired? Like, why aren't they being sent to jail? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, I agree with you, and I don't know. What I do know is that it's a problem of the system. There are all of these loopholes built in that allow this kind of crap to happen. It's
like
just
power.
it is, and it's heartbreaking. And I think in some ways you guys are so lucky to grow up here where it's so diverse, you know? And so I think that you guys probably have a relatively equal level of disbelief about this. Like, it's hard to believe that it happens. But at the same time, it's just like, I don't know. There's a lot of different kinds of places in our country, and it's just scary that it can happen anywhere, you know? If you ever get into any kind of situation, no matter what race you are, do everything you can to do what's being asked of you in that kind of situation, because it's just really horrifying.
Is this a video that's happening?
Yeah, that's the one that I've seen. You can't see his screen, right? Do you want to see the video?
Sure.
Let's have a vote.
I mean, I've seen it.
See it again.
Freya, did you say you'd be uncomfortable?
Yeah, but I'm not going to stop you all from watching it. I can just look away from the screen.
Okay, Ahadu,
Uh,
what's your vote?
I'll watch it. We're still gonna do the.
And Alisar, you were a yes, right?
What?
Yeah.
Okay, Freya, I appreciate you being flexible, so I'm gonna see if I can pull up a video, and I'll tell you before I play it so that
We're still gonna do the joke competition practice, right?
we are. Yes, it's coming. Don't worry, I'm going to pad this conversation with jokes. Hello, I've got a plan. I didn't think we were gonna do the video, but we'll do the video. Here's what I'm gonna do. I've got to kind of like be decisive about this. We're gonna watch this because it's 2 minutes long and because Freya is turning away for this, and then we're gonna move on. But we'll kind of just see what this clip says. It says it was from June 1st, so it's from yesterday. So let's just give this a quick watch. I will go to the beginning. All right, Freya, for real, this is gonna be 2 minutes now. Gonna make this big.
I have kids growing up in this world. I got 3 beautiful children. They're mixed, but even though they're mixed, they look like me. They look the same, and it could have easily been them. It could have easily been me.
Michael Holliday came here from Houston, where Floyd grew up.
Imagine if it was your child. How would you feel? Imagine if it was your son on the ground screaming, "I can't breathe, help me." Please. This community already knows his name, but the world needs to hear his name. So until we have justice, there will be no peace.
Okay, so that is a little video clip. It's so disturbing. I saw a map the other day. Nearly every state in the country is having protests over this. And the thing that just makes me so crazy is the protesters that aren't wearing masks. I understand that people are mad and heated, and I also respect people going out to express their feelings about this, but like, we're in a pandemic, so it needs to be done safely. We don't want more people to die because George had to die. Like, that's not, you know, I'm sure that's not how he would want to be remembered. And so yeah, it's so complicated.
It's very complicated.
Yeah, it's very complicated. So on that note, we're gonna shift subjects.
Yes, I gotta go.
You have to go?
Yeah.
You want to hear my joke?
Oh, sure.
Okay, what did the pirate say when he turned 80?
80.
Yes. Did you cheat? I've got it on Instagram.